Good evening, everybody. Welcome to CGL Week 8. It's me, CB, here, kind of alone. Big Sam having a little bit of PC problems. I have Headrammer, the producer, quickly filling in. So we're here in this very interesting situation here to try and bring you some action here. But yeah, like I said, CGL Week 8, last week of the regular season, we got Deathbed and Outlawed Gamblers duking it out tonight. We got Outlawed Gamblers looking to close out an undefeated season, and Deathbed kind of had a bit of a shaky one, so they got a little bit of a tall task ahead of them if they're going to be able to, try and pull out an upset here, maybe play spoiler to this potential undefeated season that Outlawed Gamblers have. Headrammer, I know we're putting you on the spot here because you're again just kind of filling in. Do you have any thoughts on these two teams, on like what you expect to happen here, what we might be seeing?
I'm probably, if I had to guess here, honestly, Outlaw Gamblers has had a much stronger season overall than Deathbed, so I would not be surprised to see them come out on top. I know they've been playing really hard this season, and they have a lot of known players on the team. Godflick, for example, has been around the scene for quite a long time. Deathbed, I actually don't know as many of their players, but I'm actually really excited to kind of see some of them in this matchup.
Yeah, Deathbed, they did, it does, we do know from them that it's kind of, for some of these players, their first time getting into a competitive environment, especially together. So they're, just trying to get some experience, feel things out, learn and grow as a group. But it's going to be a bit of a tough task going up against Outlawed Gamblers because they are a motivated team and they have the momentum behind them. So for this squad here, Zuni, Meech, and Reaper over here on the DPS, and then you got Dila and Valerie, girls getting it done on the support line. But can they get it done against a much more well-traveled team, the Outlawed Gamblers, member of the massive Outlawed family? More teams than I had Pipples at prom back in high school, all over the place. You got Godflick, like you said, who's been in the scene for a while. You got Coda there on that Cassidy there on the hit scan there, and then you got Yake and you got Pure. There's a lot of talent on this team, and again, they've played together a lot more. They're part of that Outlawed family. They have more synergy, and they have that momentum and the motivation. Again, they want to get this undefeated season going into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this being the last week of the regular season, it's things are kind of down the line. Can Outlaw Gamblers kind of get the record they've been going for? Again, 7-0 currently with a plus 20 map differential. Do you think they can get that perfect stage?
I definitely think so. I think, just looking at the win-loss records of these two teams, Outlawed Gamblers have to be the favorites. It's going to be, quite the upset if Deathbed are able to somehow, take them to a map 5 and end up getting the sweep here. Like, I think if that's how they end up winning it, it's going to be a 5-mapper, and it's going to be a tough, arduous road all the way through. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on Coda, the hit scan player for Outlawed Gamblers, and Outlawed Gamblers as a whole to see how their synergy holds up. And maybe if I'm one of the other teams in this tier, I'm probably going to be keeping an eye on Outlawed Gamblers as well, because they will be looking to make a deep playoff run as well. It looks like do we have the teams currently ready to go and ready to start?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We're here.
Hey, what do you know? All right, we're starting things off on Antarctic Peninsula. And it's looking like Deathbed is kind of flashing this Rhine Rush comp. I wouldn't put too much stock in what Outlawed Gamblers are showing right now. I never trust the attacker spawns here. It looks like they're probably also going to swap into something resembling a Rush comp, but actually more of a Jotes comp there, interestingly enough. So, we're going to have a little bit of a parity here between these two tanks, so keep an eye on Zuni and on Godflick to see who gets the better of this exchange.
And they're running that Brig Lucy too, so they pretty much just have to run into you if they want to get any hope of doing something.
Oh, well, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and run in. That May wall isolates, and Zuni able to get out alive, back up just a little bit, but Roman going to go ahead and clean up with the damage there. Godflick, that axe goes just a little bit wide, but the knife does not, getting some good damage in there. But that's a big nade from Valerie that's going to force everyone to back up. But without your tank on the field, you can't really engage. Godflick's just going to be the lone tank presence in this point and cap the point for Outlawed Gamblers.
I'm really surprised that Zuni took so much damage so fast. You would think with that superior healing comp, they would have a little more sustainability.
Yeah, but Reaper could use some sustainability there as well. With this Brig Lucio, you're relying a lot on the AoE heals from both of these heroes, but Pure dishing out anything but heals, just pure punishment coming out, taking out Zuni and Diala. Yeah, Outlaw Gamblers, they just end up kind of making that one look really easy. It's just an early Mei wall that comes out. Everyone gets isolated. Everyone gets split up. And Outlaw Gamblers divide and conquer. Deathbed going to come back in here for another attack here, but Outlaw Gamblers going to be coming up on a lot of ultimates here. Roman's coming up on that Death Blossom. Godflick has that Rampage ready to go here. Just a few short chips of damage, and that is now up, and it might be go time. Another Ice Wall gonna go ahead and come out.
Once
again, Zuni is isolated, but yeah, they might not need it. They do end up taking down Zuni again, and that's kind of one of the things that you have to look at when you're one of these less experienced teams like Deathbed, is you're not really going to have the coordination to deal with your Reinhardt getting split off from the rest of your team like this.
That is true. Now, this next... Oh, yeah, we have to swap. Playing off of Lucio to the Mercy. Are they going to try to play more of the pockets trap? But that does admittedly give me some concern for their own Reinhardt, because you know, Reinhardt usually requires the Lucio to kind of get their value, but I guess they're not really speeding in the first place. So, you know what? Why not? Let's pocket our Cassidy.
Maybe, but the thing is, like, you're kind of now losing out on, you know, it's even more tools that you don't have in order to try and save this Reinhardt when he gets split off. That is a huge Rampage. Meech is eventually going to bleed out as a result, as is Yala, and Godflick just goes absolutely ham there. Was going to go ahead and come out there from Coda, and that is all just Zuni. Once again isolated, but this time in a different way. Hey, there's that familiar Ice Wall, back in timeout with you, and that's a quick and easy 100-0 for Outlawed Gamblers.
Yeah, that would that was not really close, if I'm being quite honest with you. It just felt like Outlaw Gamblers was constantly going in and getting those advantageous Mei walls. I don't know if I really ever saw a Mei wall from Deathbed. Actually, we see a swap here from Deathbed. They swapped who's playing Mei. Meech is now on the Mei instead of the cast, and Reaper is playing the Sojourn.
One thing that I do want to see from Deathbed is I want to see Valerie swap off of that Ana and onto a Baptiste, because you have the ability to jump up over the Mei wall and put an immortality field down, and your Reinhardt kind of needs that much sustain. You're not going to speed boost and try and like get everybody around, and you're not putting enough damage to break the Mei wall down. You need that immortality field so that he can, you know, survive long enough while being isolated from the rest of the team. And then while you're up there, you can also pump out some heals.
And they also don't have the speed now.
Yeah, no speed, so that means Outlaw Gamblers are going to get this early high ground essentially for free, and now all the damage is going to start to come in on the rotation, and if Deathbed aren't able to find a way in, that's also going to be the point going straight to Outlaw Gamblers. Essentially, again, for free. The positioning has been forced, and they're all the way back here, just kind of stuck in this little corridor. Outlaw Gamblers, the point is unlocked, but they don't even have to send someone down to go for it yet. Pure does actually go down and start the cap there, but under a little bit of pressure from Reaver, but can't quite finish it off. And while that damage from the Sojourn was no longer an issue, Outlaw Gamblers press the advantage.
Good nade.
Big nade does come out. Godflick might be able to fall there, and yeah, Zuni does with the assist from literally everybody else on the team. Deathbed with a nice 5v1 there. Godflick does fall, but can they clean up the rest of these players in time to actually get a good cap going? They do take out Pure, but Valerie is going to fall as well. And I think the kill from onto Roman there is going to be enough for Outlaw Gamblers to be like, all right, maybe time for us to cash out for now.
The Rhine's
come
so
back
low.
when we have. Yeah, the Rhine is very low, but they they lose the Yeke. I don't think they're going to be able to sustain that there without their main healer. So yeah, gonna go ahead and cash out.
Ooh,
wait until they have another chance. Hopefully they cash out. I made that joke about gambling and cashing out, hoping that they would actually do it, but after repeating myself 3 times, they have still
do it. Double down.
So, good one. Good one. I didn't expect that one coming. Yeah, double down. Stagger more. That's what Deathbed definitely wants you to do. They'll get more percentage for free. They've surpassed Outlaw Gamblers so far. And if I gonna kick off here, a big right click from Roman.
Big shatter!
Comes out, takes down Meech, but that is a huge shatter, and Deathbed are gonna be able to clean this one up.
Can the right? Oh, the pin.
Oh, hey.
Surely it doesn't die. Okay, no, we live this. Oh, okay, I apologize. I 100% apologize for saying that.
That's all good. Okay, yeah, bigger shatter gonna go ahead and come out there from Godflick, and Roman gonna go ahead and clean all of that up. That was absolutely massive. Also very unlucky when Zuni went in for that charge there, that Godflick just kind of appeared out of thin air and got charged all the way back instead of the Symmetra that was looking really low, really juicy target.
Yeah, and now they have some pretty decent ults here on the defense, honestly. The Simwall, Mei, Nano, B drop. this is everything you essentially would want if you want to hold this point.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at that Blizzard that's going to be coming out here from Coda. Like a nice counter charge there comes out. Godflick, they're walled off. They might be able to finish off Zuni again. And once again, yeah, there is no immortality field to jump over and try and save them. The Sim Wall comes out. They don't even need the Blizzard. Off just the Nano Boost and the Sim Wall, they're able to hold here. Hey, Meech, didn't quite get out there. Conflict gonna go ahead and clean up that Mei, and that is another sort of stagger kill, and Outlaw Gamblers have retaken the lead.
Yeah, it's now on the bright side, Deathbed did not use any ults in that last fight. We're really just sitting on 2 ults for Gamblers here, but they have to be very careful about this Mei ult. This Mei ult just could ruin them.
Yeah, they don't have anything defensive to work against. You know, Pure has that sound barrier on, and you would like for Deathbed to be able to have something similar, but no dice. You're gonna have to bank it all on this Kitsune Rush and the Suzu. Meech already very low, but that is a huge shatter from Zuni, but everybody who could have possibly followed up on it is already dead. The Blizzard from Coda comes out, as does the Beat, and Outlaw Gamblers, they hold tight. 5% left, and I don't think anybody from Deathbed is going to be able to touch, so that should be a quick and easy 2-0 for Outlawed Gamblers.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is Deathbed didn't use their ults. You know, they were sitting on that Sojourner ult for quite a long time, just never choosing to engage. And that was one of the nice things I really liked from Outlawed Gamblers, is they just kept going in and kept going first. It's so much easier to, oh, look at this shatter. This shatter, I cannot believe this was turned around in this fight.
This shatter simply should not have happened. And by the way, 1 HP. The Reinhardt was literally 1 HP. When he came out with that shatter there, so absolute insanity on that play there, but I guess, you know, when you're a gambler, you like to gamble, you can afford to throw some of those out there, so, you know, we'll take those, and now they're playing with house money. They're up in the fight here. Oh, alright. Headrammer gonna go ahead and dip out for a second, so it's just me. Hey, it's just me and you, chat. We're all alone. Deathbed, they're looking a little bit shaky thus far as we go into our second map, which is going to be Eichenwald. I want to see what they end up coming out with, if they switch things up and go for something a little bit more, maybe dive-oriented, or maybe they try and figure this rush comp out, because it looks like they haven't quite cracked it. There might be some sort of discord going on with their support line, and I'm not talking about Zenyatta, because, you know, this doesn't seem to be an option for them. They played every support hero but the little Omnic friend, or the Baptiste, which is what I really want them to play. If they're going to be playing, especially in a mirror, where the Reinhardt gets walled off, you do need that immortality field, or you do need the damage to be able to break one of the pillars through the Mei wall and get some of the heals and get some of the resources to the other side of that wall, you know, get them a little airlift of and a care package on the other side. Be nice, but when the Reinhardt keeps getting isolated like that, it's so easy for Outlawed Gamblers to clean it up over and over again, time and time again, easy as pie. We'll have to, you know, try and fill a little bit more until I get the go-ahead from Headrammer there.
Well, you got the go-ahead. We're here.
Hey, we got the go-ahead. There we go. All right. I wasn't sure if we were starting or anything because you were muted, but it's okay. We're all good.
Yeah, I figured I might as well, you know, might as well just transition to it, especially because I figured, my audio is actually still muted on the scene that you were currently on. Might as well just go into this one. But no changes from either side, so no subs. They just want to go. We're seeing a Sigma defense. But they're also
defense on Eichenwald. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, Zuni, go back and try again.
yeah. Especially with running the Kiriko Lucio, it just doesn't really make sense to me. But then they'll swap for the Ana again.
It also looks like they've kind of done a little flip-flop with who their main support currently is. It's now Diala on that Ana and Valerie on the Lucio. I'm not sure if that's if that was the case last time around. And I
think you're correct that they swapped it.
That's not when I said I wanted to see swaps on the support line. That's not what I meant. I meant, you know, let's try different heroes, not flipping them around. But here's hoping that Deathbed is able to get something going here. They're gonna have to be a pretty stalwart on the defense here. As Outlawed Gamblers are walking up with the same thing that they opened Antarctic Peninsula with, that Joe's comp with the Reaper and the Mei. So, you know, if they just continue to isolate Zuni, be on the lookout for this Mei wall that's going to come out here from Coda, and it does come out, and Zuni is isolated, but there's a little bit of a crack there.
It's a good nade.
Wall went a little bit too wide, and a big follow-up nade there going to come out. So, Roman going to go ahead and take the pick up there onto Valerie. Zuni going to fall as well, and it looks like, yeah, Deathbed are going to find their namesake, head back to spawn, and Outlawed Gamblers are going to cap point A.
Yeah, that was just very quick there. You could see the exact moment they 3-2-1 shouted, ran in, got a pretty perfect isolation on Zuni there. Then I actually thought Zuni could live because the nade from the Layla there was actually really good. It hit 2 people, kept up the rhyme, but then it just kept swinging.
It looks like we do Big Sam back, so he should be able to join us here shortly in a minute. But it looks like Deathbed is gonna try and join Outlawed Gamblers on the high ground that they've essentially already taken for free due to some of those late staggers. You already have a lot of presence up there, but you don't really have a whole lot of presence on the cart. You got Yake down here all by their lonesome, and Meech gonna go ahead and clean that one up. And the rest of Deathbed, they're all moving as a unit right now. They're playing together fantastically.
Yeah, they absolutely are, but this is what you need to do if you're Deathbed. Point 1 was capped so quickly. You need to take these fights as fast as you can, get these pickoffs, and just burn as much time as you can.
Yeah, the composition that these teams are playing right now is going to favor Deathbed unless Outlawed Gamblers is able to take the high ground for free, but it looks like Deathbed are actually playing a little bit lower than they should. Pulse Bomb going to come out from Meech, and the Ice Block is there to keep Coda alive in the fight here, and a nice little wall to stop Zuni from going up to contest there. Outlawed Gamblers, they've taken the high ground, but they have to drop back down and contest the cart, and so now we're back down on the ground fighting pretty hard, but, you know, they've already got 2 picks there. Valerie to fall as well, and that's going to be a nice cleanup there from Outlawed Gamblers.
Yeah, and the best thing about this for Gamblers is they have spent nothing. They're going to come into this final fight here with nearly 5 ultimates, and Deathbed have High Noon Shatter?
High Noon Shatter could be a pretty potent combo, but Outlawed Gamblers do have some tools to try and weather the storm. The Shatter comes out. The Rally also came out, though, as of the beat. So Outlawed Gamblers just going to go ahead and let everything rip there. That's every ultimate. They're going to hold on to that Rampage, but they only because they don't quite have it yet. Got to imagine if that was at 100%, then you might have seen a 5-stack coming out there of Ultimate Outlawed Gamblers. But with the other 4, they can absolutely withstand a Shatter Deadeye.
Yeah, you know, who needs Ultimate Economy when you win the fight? You secure 2nd point and just cap it relative ease, and you're still about to have your ultimate that counters nearly every ult they have in the Jugger Queen ult.
Yeah, their ult economy looking a little bit like Silicon Valley right now, but no bailouts required for Outlawed Gamblers. Like I said, they are playing with house money. Here comes the Rampage. Is the Suzu there from Yala? It actually doesn't hit herself there, and Meech also got anti, but the beat from Valerie was good, and that might be enough for Deathbed to finally dig their heels in and stop this cart where it stands, but they do lose Zuni. So they have to play a little bit safe here and try and get these last pickoffs swiftly or force Outlawed Gamblers back. And the shout comes out from Godflick, and I think they might actually be on the back foot now, trying to get out with whatever resources they did manage to collect in that fight.
And I found it really interesting that they swapped to the Genji in this fight. It's not really what you would typically think of, you know, in your Brawl comp is the Genji. But I think it's probably better in their case. I'm not going to say it's the ideal pick at all, but it's definitely so far giving them a little bit more consistent damage. It's forcing their team to look at it instead of just constantly going right forward.
Yeah, and, you know, Reaper is getting a lot of value in their, you know, deflecting the enemy Reaper, Roman. Very confusing stuff going on here with the name-wise there. We'll get back to that in a minute there as Meech does invest the Blizzard. A couple people getting a little bit isolated and getting a little bit frozen off there. And Pier is going to fall. Shatter also going to come out from Zuni. Counter Blizzard coming out from Coda, but I don't think that was necessary, and whether it was or not, will there be follow-up? Indeed, there is. Yeah, Coda and Yake alone gonna go ahead and clean this one up. Gosh. They do get all 5, and this 2-piece left for Outlawed Gamblers flip the fight with that ultimate.
Yeah, I cannot believe that was just such a big Blizzard. The fact that half their team was dead and for them to come back and just win with just a support and a Mei is just ridiculous.
Kitsune Rush gonna go ahead and come out there from Diala, as is the Dragon Blade, but the Immortality field is good, and Godflick, with the help of that Immortality, does help clean up that Dragon Blade. Death Blossom gonna go ahead and come out there from Roman, though. Zuni falls as well, and again, Outlawed Gamblers, despite a little bit of an early engagement from Deathbed, are able to weather the storm, come back, get the kills, and find the positioning. The card is just about capped there. Reaper finally on the Reaper guy, but does get cleaned up, and that is gonna be a 247 time bank for Outlawed Gamblers.
I mean, a pretty dominant attack, honestly, the entire way through. Capping all 3 points at Like is difficult in itself, yet alone with nearly 3 minutes.
Yeah, that is a, you know, in these hybrid maps, you know, finishing with like a 2 to 3 minute or a time bank is, you know, you've essentially just set yourself up with a pretty solid win condition there. You got to imagine that, like, worst case scenario, you go to a draw, but only if you manage to somehow just completely defecate all over the bed and then somehow do it again on your overtime push. So Outlaw Gamblers, they're going to be very comfortable with that. Deathbed, though, the bar has been set. Will they be able to clear it? We did see a couple flashes of life from this squad, so mayhaps.
Yeah, this we're seeing the Bastion game. Now I have actually seen Bastion as a replacement for like Cassidy in these comps a little more recently, but do you think they're actually it's a little strat they're doing, or do you think it's just like RX-Man's like, guys, we're winning, gotta play Bastion?
I do think this is kind of a legitimate strategy because, you know, especially on like King's Row, you're seeing this exact comp coming out a lot, especially in like, you know, some of these contenders Pro-Am matches that we were watching, the Pro-Am qualifiers. You were seeing a lot of this Mei Bastion DPS line come out because Bastion just absolutely melts an enemy Reinhardt's shield. And if Deathbed, again, they're still not committing to that Baptiste pick for the support line. So if they're not going to have that immortality field to keep the Reinhardt alive in the fight, a Mei wall to you know, section him off, an icicle to the dome to get rid of the Lucio. So now he doesn't have any speed. He's got nowhere to go. Gonna have to find some cover. Meech gonna go ahead and put up a Mei wall of his own, but Roman coming in with that Bastion, really making Zuni, you know, put the fear of God into this tank player. Forced to back up. Now they've got the Lucio again. They can try and take an engagement here, but they're not really finding much of an angle. They don't really have a way to get any of that good spam damage in, get some chip damage, or try and force any positioning. Wheel's gonna go ahead and come out, that turret form from Roman, and once again, everybody on Deathbed just hiding behind a corner. They don't want to peek this lest they, you know, lose half a health bar, just trying to find a nice safe place to hide for the winner.
Yeah, and it seems like they're not pushing at the right times. They should be pushing every single time the wheels are down on,
That's the value of that immortality field right there, though. Godflix was dead to rights. He had, you know, he was anti-healed. He was being pressured down by Zuni, but that immortality field from Yake comes out at the perfect time, saves his life. He doesn't die, and Deathbed are forced to retreat back to spawn. If they can make it out there alive, Reaper cannot.
Oh, that was just no fear from Yake there. Just hard pushing a Tracer by themselves. Like, no, you're not gonna win this. You're not getting out when I'm here.
Getting a little bit of support love here as Yake is just pumping in the heals here with the Baptiste. He's got the window, and that is going to be absolutely deadly with a Bastion behind it, but who needs it? Because Coda is hitting all the icicles, and these support players kind of need to stop peeking here on the side of Deathbed because they're getting caught out time and time again with these icicles and all of the spam damage, and that might also kind of be on Zuni for not having the shield up, whatever the case may be. The gears are just not... Something's just not clicking for Deathbed currently.
Canceled too early.
How did that...
Canceled too early.
I'm not even sure if that's what happened. It definitely looked like that that Reaper should have been dead there. Maybe it was just sparing him his life there for just a minute there. But yeah, Pure not gonna let you get away with that.
No, that's just. Oh my! Wait, the big shatter. Big shatter. Oh, I apologize.
It's a
bigger return
big shatter, but the Mei wall came out. There was no one that could have possibly followed up on the shatter. The immortality field comes out. The window comes out as well. And once again, yeah, Reaper not even gonna choose to get involved in that one because his team just died before he was even back from spawn.
It looks like Zuni's trying to swap to the D.Va here. I'm not really sure what they're trying to accomplish with this, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if they're just fearful of the Bastion and just want to think they need to DM the damage.
I do think that is the case, that they are fearful of the Bastion, and this is kind of what that inexperience comes from. Or sorry, this is you know, that inexperience. I can't speak either.
It's contagious.
You've ruined me. That inexperience, though, that does kind of force decisions like this. It's the same kind of thing you would think to do in ranked when the enemy team is running a Bastion and you don't know how to crack through that. You swap to the D.Va and hope the defense matrix will try and get you through the choke, but it's not just the Bastion that's the problem. It's all the spam damage you're taking from the grenades, from the Mei, from the Bastion, from the fire strikes, getting your Reinhardt isolated time and time again, which swapping to the D.Va kind of solves that, but you're still taking all the freeze damage from the Mei.
Oh, look at this right here. Is that gonna fit? Oh no, just failed out a little early. But they do swap to the Bastion though, and this is melting. It's giving a little bit more space, and they've had to use a mortality field already.
Yeah, with that resource off the field, by the way, backline of Deathbed is now a Moira Mercy, so we have gone full ranked queue here. Pure is holding on to this sound barrier. I'm not sure if he'll even need it, because the window does come out, and Zuni is already critically low on the mech, kind of forced to rotate around, and Yake gonna go ahead and find a pick off there onto Reaper, so all of Deathbed's damage is pretty much off the table. And Valerie, you can go ahead and put it right back on with a big res there. Someone has to touch the point, though. Coalescence going to go ahead and come out, try and keep Zuni alive. Zuni does lose the mech though, and that is a ginormous shatter. Godflick, there's the shot, and that's the chaser. Gonna go ahead and go for the pin there, and that's an easy win. A full hold for Outlaw Gamblers.
I mean, what more can you say? A pretty convincing map for Gamblers. I mean, that was just a speed run in every capacity of it.
Also, shout out to the Spark Skins. Great color scheme, excellent team there. These May players have been kind of, phenomenal back and forth here. Meech getting the play of the game here, but it was Coda that had the bigger blizzard towards the end there that allowed Deathbed to full cap, that allowed Outlaw Gamblers to full cap. Deathbed got full capped on and weren't able to crack through Outlaw Gamblers' ironclad defense. This is definitely the showings of a squad that is undefeated thus far in the season, going up against a squad that has very much so struggled this season. One more map to go for Outlaw Gamblers. They're on match point. They're staring down the barrel of that undefeated season. And I got Big Sam back with me to talk about it. I don't know how much of that you saw, but do you have any thoughts about what you just saw?
That was the speed run. The Bastion strat, it went hard. A lot of times when a Bastion comes out, it is oh crap, there's a Bastion, what do we do? I agree. Deathbed should have went to a Baptiste for an immortality. The Ryan probably got the shield melted. The immortality probably could have saved more / more sustainability, but I think it was they did the right swaps. Diva, I'm kind of like on that moment. But if they would have done it sooner, they possibly could have got a pick or two and possibly could have turned that around on their attacking side. On the defense, when I watched the part of it, they looked good and solid, but it was just good blizzards coming out, good ults coming out on the side of Outlaw Gamblers, and it was just like you said, a speed run. So there are little minor things you can critique and coach and fix, and if you do, you could possibly turn that into a win or at least a draw.
For me, I think it comes down again mostly to that inexperience where this team, Deathbed, like I said, they've been together this season, but they haven't played together all that much outside of this. So it's like some of these swaps that they're making to me kind of, they reek a little bit more of desperation. Like, we don't really know what to do. We haven't really been properly coached on this. We don't have the synergy to cook up any strategies of our own. So we kind of just have to counterpick and see what works. And, too little too late. The Diva swap didn't really strike pay dirt. Some of these backline support swaps that we're seeing aren't really finding all that much of anything. And as a result, they're not able to get any value out of their support ults. So there's a lot to critique there for Deathbed, and not all that much time left in the season for them to do it, because this might be their last map of the season if Outlaw Gamblers have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, I did like the Mercy Moira duo support line, because that is what you said, meta pick / open queue pick. Mercy's really strong. Moira, DPS Moiras are a thing, let's be honest. The purple orb is a squishy in the day. So I do like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a Sojourn to try to flank around, try to get high ground maybe at that point. Maybe Bastion sooner with a Baptiste, maybe with a Rhine Shield, maybe a Hanzo Ash, just to see, can I get a quick pick? Even just, if you want to go pure cheese, just go Symmetra and just try to TP straight to the point, put the turrets up, shield behind it, and just try to play around the Symmetra beam, burning down enemies, because it can be deflected or anything. So we shall see what happens right here as we are going to Havana.
Yeah, we are going to Havana, and by the way, a couple of swaps coming out for Outlaw Gamblers. They got Sugoi Nexus swapping out on the tank role there, and Nilly, she's going to go ahead and come in on the support line there, swapping out for Pure. So a little bit of a change in the main support line that might signal that they want to go ahead and make some changes, but could also just as easily... Or sorry, let me go ahead and correct one thing really quick. Sugoi is actually coming in for DPS. Godflick is still very much so there on the tank. Anyway, this might also just be them trying to get their teammates some play time, because at this point they feel pretty confident. They gotta feel like they've got this one in the bag.
Yeah, Godflick. A lot of the guys in Outlaw told me last night, this morning, Godflick's been really dominant on the Rhine play, so to speak, when they've been doing their scrims and amongst their practices, and they said his shot calling's improved greatly. The support lines have been trying to put more resources into him. So interesting to see. Now Zuni, I do like the Sigma, probably not against Orion, but I do like Sigma on this map. I've used it many a time in my open queue. I'm gonna see if Meg with the Dahlia Mercy can get some picks in, at least try to open some things up, but we shall see what happens as this goes slow.
The one saving grace I will say for Deathbed is that Outlaw Gamblers are not running the Mei, but they are indeed running an Ashe with a damage boost, and that's just going to go ahead and melt Coda there. Sorry, that was Deathbed running that, but the Res is indeed going to be there, so the Bastion's still on the field, but very much so looking for cover there, though. Meech not able to get the pick off there, though. Is able to rotate, but hang on, Yake, poking your head out just a little bit, but watch your back door. There's that Bastion that you pissed off, ready to exact some revenge, but take down Godflick, and it looks like Deathbed are actually making a bit of headway here off of just this pocket Ashe pick. Yeah, Sugoi Nexus is going to go ahead and fall as well, and that might be enough for them to cap.
More than likely they're going to cap. Reaper can easily pop ult near the entrance way if needed be, and Meech can just stay in the back line with the Mercy. They should cap it. Yeah, they already capped it with 5 minutes on the clock, which is very good. A good momentum builder they can use for, hey, let's try to get something positive going here. But going forward, you're probably going to see the Mercy Valve coming out, probably a huge damage boost on both DPS and probably the tank. Then probably followed by the Kitsune Rush. They're going to try to get this as fast as possible.
On the side of Outlaw Gamblers, be on the lookout for this Nano. You gotta imagine Godflick is gonna be calling out for that as soon as, their high ground might start to be threatened here. Because you got Sugoi up here with that Mercy Pocketed Ashe that can go ahead and put some heads up top. Nano Boost is gonna go ahead and come out onto Godflick, but can't really put a lot of damage in. He's forced to hold the Matrix through all of that Bastion damage from Reaper coming through. Yake might be in the drop zone there and does end up getting capped there with that artillery strike. Nearly gonna be there with the res there, but Meech falls on the side of Deathbed, so things starting to actually turn back in favor of Outlawed Gamblers just a little bit there. We'll see if the res is there for that, but Nility gonna go ahead and fall, and now Deathbed once again swinging it a little bit. We're actually kind of back and forth as Godflick cleans up Reaper, and the card is about halfway through. The res denied there by Godflick, very well played. Nice accretion there. Gonna go ahead and slow him down. Kitsune Rush comes out from Deathbed. Looking to try and find something with that, but everybody else from Outlawed Gamblers just heading for the hills, playing a little bit safe here, giving up positioning, letting the cart go a little bit further. They know it's in a bit of a choke there. Nice magnetic grenade comes out, but the damage, or the Mercy there is there. Heal that one right up. Self-destruct gonna come out from Godflick. How does that find two? Where were Reaper and Zuni hanging out that they didn't have cover for that one? That's a very well placed there from Godflick. Excellent work there. And that has to be the reset for Deathbed.
It is going to be the reset. That was a cheeky ult, so to speak. Like the trajectory of it was very, very unique to say the least. And I believe it caught Zuni and Reaper all very off by surprise. But
Zuni gonna go ahead and open
Zuni
up there
does
with
have the ult, and they can use because the ability.
Nano comes out to Godflick to try and keep Godflick up alive in the fight
Yeah,
there.
gonna
Meanwhile,
open the roof
turn
and
around,
there.
there's Nexus. Gonna go ahead and come through, find the pick off there onto Reaper. Meech gonna go ahead and take out Nility, so no mercy on the side of Outlawed Gamblers, but they don't need it because everyone else is just coming through with all the damage. And this high ground is looking pretty impregnable for Outlawed Gamblers right now. Deathbed, they're gonna have the Bob going into this next fight, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough for them to be able to cap here.
It's not going to be enough for them to cap because as long as you have high ground, you're solid, and your Cassidy is just going to have free reign. And both Bobs are going to come out, so it's going to see which Bob is more in the cheeky spot, slash which Bob maybe get a pick or two, maybe gets a good an assist. So it's very interesting because both of these Ashes are getting pocketed like crazy right now and just trying to open up anything for their teams.
Early Bob gonna go ahead and come out from Meech. Sugoi Nexus not gonna go ahead and use his, doesn't need it. Takes out Reaper on the other side and actually gonna clean up Meech as well. Excellent Mercy Pocket there coming out from Nility, and a lot of good shots coming in here from Nexus. This is a phenomenal hit scan showcase being displayed here from Outlawed Gamblers, and look, either a fat finger or a BM Bob there from Nexus gonna come out there. He'll guard the cart from the threats that are just not coming, I guess.
Yeah, he thought he heard footsteps, or maybe a ghost was coming. Maybe been a fat finger, maybe just want to swap off, or if they think he's going to die right here. I don't know, but alas, no usage out of it. Yankee's probably going to need Nano the Diva, or maybe Nano Ash. I could see with a Mercy Pocket, especially because there's the first pig off that's going to open up a.
Rez gonna go ahead and come out, get Meech back in the fight though, but he's been struggling a little bit in this Ashe 1v1, but forget the Ashe 1v1. Reaper gonna go ahead and use a Deadeye to completely negate that. Now, Meech can finally get a little bit more space to work with that enemy Ashe no longer on the field, and there's no room for Nility to go for the res there. The support line of Outlaw Gamblers just forced to, kick rocks, get the heck out, try and get back to the rest of the team, while Deathbed, they're continuing to press the advantage here. There should be a contest able to come out here from Outlaw Gamblers. Coda a little bit too far away to be there, but will join it late and does have that Deadeye. Godflick gonna go ahead and go in. He's got the Mercy Pocket. Valkyrie's coming out on both sides. There's that Deadeye. Everybody's gonna have to watch out. Meech falls again. Reaper takes out Nexus though and has a bit of an angle. Might be able to get a little bit more there. Nilly is again there with the res. She's been on fire with these res. Is very good Mercy play here. Valerie falls. Nexus keeps finding these headshots. It's this Mercy Ashe duo that's putting in so much work left and right for Outlaw Gamblers. And Deathbed, the cart might have stalled out and they're running out of options.
Yeah, this is last engagement. Meech's only hope is maybe the Bob right on payload just to make sure someone can touch or contest it. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. No, that pig is going to come very last second. And that's going to be the hold right there for Outlaw Gamblers. I was kind of seeing what was going to happen, but both Mercies got reses off at the end of that. And then when Valerie got being the Kiriko got eliminated, then it was just a small snowball because you couldn't res that because both Ashes got rezzed within like 5 to 7 seconds prior to that elimination. So if it was a few more seconds on the clock, Meech maybe could have got the Bob off a point, but at the end they at least got right at 2 ticks. So it's if you're
They're going to have to be really, really strong on the defense here because Outlaw Gamblers, they now have a win condition in their sights. This is, like you said, doable for Deathbed, but Outlaw Gamblers, they're motivated. They have the momentum behind them. The last 2 maps, they have been completely on fire. This whole season, they've been on fire, and if they want to close out this undefeated season, it's right there at the end of checkpoint B. That's all you got to do. You got to get there. It's a mountain that you have to climb, but they definitely brought their climbing gear.
This is going to be a very interesting defensive setup right here with the Ramatra, Bastion, Ashe, Ana, Mercy. The Mercy's playing a pocket, the Ashe, and Ana's going to be snipe healing the Ramatra from an end angle. But it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the Ramatra versus Diva right here. Especially we get the Widow coming out on attack, so trying to maybe get a pick or two and then swap off.
Outlaw Gamblers on the other side are on pretty much full, we're playing whatever the heck we want sort of composition here. They got the Widow, the Genji, and that Mercy Moira backline there. So it'll be a very slippery, difficult one to dive. Excellent shot there from Nexus, followed up with another shot there from Reaper. The res on both sides, so back where we started, but Zuni falls in all of that chaos while the Mercy was looking the other way. Wasn't enough heals on the tank, and Nexus is coming in with all of the shots, cleaning things up. Body shot Bandit. He does indeed, though, get away with it.
Yeah, that was. I didn't think he would stay on Mercy, but they did. And the angle which he was in, Zuni nor Reaper could get to him. And then Dealy now switches to the Kiriko, but right there in that high ground and projectile area where he's free range, or anything, is just insane.
Nexus has the angle here though, but Meech has the Mercy Pocket and has the damage, so DPS line for Outlaw Gamblers now out of the fight. And that is going to be a bit of a hold for Deathbed there. That Defender's spawn does end up paying dividends for them, and they're able to hold just a little bit longer here.
Yeah, they do. Closer to the points, it's they have the advantage for the spawns versus the attackers. And right here, the closest ult I see is the Genji. So interesting to see how much value the Genji blade is going to get. Dealy is gonna have to be using the cleansing totem to see if they can nullify a lot of that damage. Can Reaper up in time maybe.
Big shots there onto Sugoi, and also Godflick gonna go ahead and fall, and that is another quick and easy hold for Deathbed. They didn't even have to invest all that much to do it. They only invested that Valkyrie. Outlawed Gamblers are gonna have a wealth of ultimates, a full house, if you will, coming up here very shortly, but will they get the chance to use them? Going into that Annihilation from Zumi is going to be very, very difficult, a very tall task, and they don't really have a whole lot to negate that.
They don't have a lot to negate it. I would say let Zuni use it first, and then like you just pop it. I would wait till all these ults die off, and then I would push in with all my ults and try to get the first point with whatever time is left available on the clock. Because you're still down 5-4 right here with the Bob going down. So that's probably just stall waiting game is what Outlawed Gambler is trying to do, and then press their Y/triangle buttons and go in from there and try to get the second point.
Like Deathbed, they do lose Reaper there, and I don't think Valerie has the res available, and if she does, she can't get to it. That Dragon Blade from Koda's finally gonna come out, but the target he was staring down, too bad. Nexus already got rid of that one for you. You're gonna have to try and find another target. Yeah, everybody else just melts. The Dragon Blade from Koda does essentially nothing, but it didn't need to do anything because the rest of Outlawed Gamblers cleaned up just about everything there was to see here, and now that's gonna be point A capped, so we're halfway home.
And now Godflick switches over to the Ramatra himself, so we're getting a Ramatra v Ramatra fight, right, so to speak. So this is going to be very, very, very interesting. Both of them are very close to each other and ult charge. But I will see the Cassidy Deadeye. I think it's going to come out, and this thing is going to at least do a zoning technique or try to get one or both of the supports.
Early artillery strike going to come out here from Meech. That might force a little bit of positioning, but I don't know if that's going to find all that much of anything else on the side of Outlawed Gamblers. They're able to just kind of kite it, stay out of the way, weather the storm, and they live to fight another day with minimal damage taken from that at all. Valkyrie going to go ahead and come up from Nilly T, and that's going to be enough to sustain everybody to go forward. The Deadeye also going to go ahead and come out from Nexus, and everybody trying to kite, find a nice little place to take shelter, zone that one out. A nice little fan the hammer there to clean up Meech. Zuni gonna pick him off though, but has the damage been done? It looks like Outlawed Gamblers, they're still pushing forward here. Despite that, Zuni gonna go ahead and pop that Annihilation, go into the back line, clean up Nilly, clean up Godflick, and that's going to be a Deathbed hold here about halfway through point B.
Yeah, Annihilation, if everybody's grouped together, is one of the most OP ults in the game, and it forces everybody to disperse. And then if you're a good coordinated team, when that happens, you divide and conquer, and that's how a lot of teams I've seen in scrims and other games, that's how they use the ult. They pick them off one by one, or they divide, and then they just dive in and conquer and get the team fight win. I'm not surprised at all by G.
Another trade coming out, but the reses are there, so no more reses on the field. If you're a DPS player, this might be time to get aggressive. Bob also did come out from Reaper, but gets cleaned up there. Godflick has the Annihilation, and there's a Coalescence to back it up, so all the damage coming in left and right from those two ultimates. Koda does fall, and there is a little bit of a flank play coming out here from Meech, but gonna go ahead and get spotted out. Not a whole lot you can really do there, and the golden box of victory is getting really close, and Reaper is in no man's land right now. Gonna go ahead and get cleaned up as well. And is there going to be any touch for Deathbed? It looks like Zuni gonna have to swap to the Wrecking Ball just to be able to get a touch. Asuzu gonna come out, but they've lost Valerie on the Ingress there. Koda still has this Dragon Blade. If there's anyone that can even stand up to this blade, it doesn't look like there's going to be. Beach gonna go ahead and drop down, but there's that blade. Got your name right on it. And Outlawed Gamblers, they complete the undefeated season with an undefeated series here. This one's for you, Big Sam, making Deathbed look like jobbers.
Yeah, that's why, Outlaw Gamblers, they're playing for their full teammate liberty, so they're playing with an added motivation this season. Most teams, they dream of going undefeated. It's like they want to go undefeated, and they need to go undefeated for their teammate just to show even though we lost him, we're still a cohesive unit. We're still one of the favorites to win this tier. We're still really good. And Godflick, like I said before, I watched him play. I watched a VOD review with him. His shot calling is getting better. the support stream 4 resources into him, and boom, he got play of the game. Ezra Matra, as we said, the Annihilation is a devastating ult that, when done correctly, can easily win you a team fight without anything else being needed. And it was just boom, 1, 2, 3, quick pickoffs. The other two were separated. They just dove, divide and conquer. Boom, win the team fight. Then repositioning you ready for the next engagement. So good job, God. Good job.
Divide and conquer, like you said, is very much what Outlawed Gamblers did time and time again. A tale as old as time, one of the easiest strategies to enact over and over again, and Deathbed didn't really seem to have an answer for it. They did show some signs of life. They did have some really strong plays there coming out from their DPS line, and Zuni was also pretty solid on the tank there, but Outlawed Gamblers, they look to be in another class, and like we said, they are motivated. They did have the momentum behind them. They are going to be going into our playoffs looking really, really strong, and if you're one of these other teams toward the upper echelon of this tier, you got to be keeping an eye on these guys because they can make a lot of noise, and they want to. They really, really want to take this trophy home, and if you think you can stop them, then, I mean, you haven't done a good job of it so far, because again, undefeated season. So maybe in the playoffs you'll catch them off guard, but they're looking to be the favorites, I gotta say.
Yeah, and then last night I was with our same producer, and I was with a different play-by-play, and we did the other Outlaw team. Outlawed as a whole in their org, because I'm in it, they have a lot of good, well-coached, well-managed teams. VOD reviews daily, talk to their captains, their managers daily. So it's not just one team they have in that org that's good. It's a whole bunch of them that are really, really strong and really, really good, and they have a good foundation. And the cool thing is, like, your GMs pass it down to your masters. Your masters take that, pass it down to the plat diamond, and the plat passes down to the gold tier. So it's a steady whole. Everybody's helping each other learn, work together, and that's why they have really, really good, solid teams playing.
Yeah, it's quite the org here. It shows, like, all the work that they put in and all the investment, it does pay off. But you got to make sure when it comes playoff time that you do take home the gold, because you invest all of that in, all of those resources, all these other teams helping each other, coalescing together to try and make this mission happen. I have a feeling Outlawed Gamblers are going to be going the distance here. But hey, Deathbed, also again, a good showing from them. There's still some life in this team. You know, a team that was just coming in to try and get some experience, learn and grow together, and I do hope that they gain a little bit of experience, gain some things that they can go back, reflect on, and come back as a stronger team in the future. I sure hope we haven't seen the last of some of these players, but for at least tonight, you have indeed seen the last of Big Sam and I, as we are going to have to sign off here, because that is an Outlawed Gamblers sweep. Pretty quick 3-0 there. Not really a whole lot else to say about it. We kind of covered just about everything that there is, so that's going to be it for me for tonight. I've been CB. This has been Big Sam. We'll have to see you guys all next time for the playoffs. See you there. Bye-bye.
Take care and peace, people.